bald and bankrupt. If my YouTube channel goes where it is going, and if my hairline goes where it is going, I will be bald and bankrupt. Today we'll be watching Bald and Bankrupt because I'm not yet bald and bankrupt.
Their communist past quite as well as Estonia seemingly has.
He was in Estonia about almost a year ago actually, and I had never reacted to him. He was in Estonia, he was in eastern Estonia, which is a weird place to be, so... Estonian man reacts to Bald and Bankrupt being in Estonia. As always, I will name you 3 Patreons. I do really rely on these Patreons. I need to name them at the beginning of every video because they save me. They really do. So, we have Jõhvi Lee, saving my ass. Thank you, Jõhvi Lee. We have Otto. It could be a boy's name in Estonia also. Thank you, Otto, for supporting the channel. Finally, we have Shane Castle. Thank you, Shane, for being such a generous person. If you want me to read your name out loud, become a patron. The link is in the description below. Let's see, Mr. Bald and Bankrupt, what have you done in Estonia?
Since the fall of the Soviet Union, there have been few former republics that have managed to shake off their communist past quite as well as Estonia seemingly has.
Yeah.
Tallinn, the capital in particular, is vibrant. It's full of tech startups and free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi. Estonia is a very tech-savvy country, but the thing is, we have shaken off the Soviet past better than Ukraine, better than, I would say, Latvia, and I would also say Lithuania. But you could still, if you go to the countryside, you still see that architecture. It's ugly.
However, I want to know what life is like in the outer regions of the country, along the Russian border. And so I'm going to jump on a train now and we're going to head east together to the edge of the European Union and see how life is progressing for the locals there. So it's freezing cold, let's find a railway station. Join me. Whoa, 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 whoa. There are treacherous conditions here in Estonia. It's very easy to pull a hamstring or twist an ankle or get splattered by dirty bloody snow from cars. Ah, look how pretty it is though. Look at lovely little Estonia. I had no idea before I came to this country just how pretty, medieval, well preserved Tallinn would be.
Well, that's Tallinn for you, but not all of Estonia.
Let's see what it's like out in the east. See if it's the same or if it's a little bit more, well, let's say if it's a little bit more reminiscent of the places we've been before together in the former USSR. Let's check it out.
Oh yeah, I would say Eastern Estonia is like going back in time, going to the Soviet Union. I mean, yeah, you get the new malls and new shopping centers, but usually people live in those old Brezhnev-typed apartments, panelkas or Khrushchevkas, the Khrushchev timed apartments. It's the same as 60s and 70s. It's really cold. How is it playing? I don't understand. Yeah, we have these red trains.
Can I have a ticket to Jõhvi?
They call it carrot train. I mean, we call it carrot trains because they're so red, and they actually are a diesel train. They're meant to be city trains, but since Estonia is so small, we could run them all over the country, and they still run fine. Carrot trains, everybody.
Please. Jõhvi? Yeah, thank you.
Jõhvi.
Check out the name of the
Jõhvi. Jõhvi.
Estonian towns you can visit.
Paldiski, Pääsküla, Aegviidu.
Paldiski or Paskula or Aegviidu. Which one would you choose? Which one do you reckon is most exciting? I reckon Paskula. I like the sound of that, Paskula. One day I'm going to go to Paskula.
So weird.
Maybe.
Pääsküla, because the word Bask is saying Basküla. Bask means shit in Estonia, and Küla is village, so you're saying Basküla is shit village. So it's Pääsküla.
Oh, there's a babushka selling something over there. Let's go and check it out. Что у вас есть здесь? О, что у вас есть? Ого. Это вы сама сделаете?
Да.
Хорошо. Сколько стоит?
10.
10? Давайте тогда, я буду купить 10.
Ага. А какие возьмет?
О, супер. Это вы сама сделали, да?
Да.
Хорошо. Спасибо вам. Wow. Babushka socks. They'll keep me warm in Narva.
So he suggested that's 10, he gave her 20, I hope he got his 10 back. And also his Russian is really okay, what the hell? He's like English, I don't know his history, but he obviously has to be some Russian roots because he speaks Russian with a very strong Western accent, but still he speaks Russian. He speaks better than I do. Just filming random strangers here, isn't he?
Domestic. Looks like the train to Narva and Jõhvi is pulling in.
Jõhvi.
And I've already seen some Gopniks getting on the train.
In the winter, I don't think you will see any of these traditional Gopniks, because it's so cold you cannot wear your traditional Gopnik outfits. I think you will see some leather jackets and weird Gopnik clothing, but not the original ones.
Eastern Estonia, it's a different world.
Yeah, see, carrot trains, they're so orange. Head reisi every time.
Well, we've got about 2 hours to go until our destination. But I brought some reading material, which is called Babushka's Secrets.
What the hell?
Advice for all illnesses. So I'm going to settle down.
Yeah, babushka means grandmother. Grandmothers always have these weird weird treatments for every illness you have. A weird berry or a weird, I don't know, mustard plasters or something. It's strange.
Watch the Estonian countryside pass by and read Babushka's Secrets. So I'll see you at our destination.
Grandmother's Secrets.
Cheerio.
Cheerio, mate. Yeah, we're seeing some factories.
Welcome to Jõhvi.
Jõhvi.
Wow. Check it out. Beautiful Jõhvi.
There's nothing. You see, these are Khrushchevkas. This one here, look at it. It's built in the 60s, obviously, and it's horrible.
I was worried on this journey to Estonia that I wouldn't find any, well, let's say Soviet architecture.
Oh, you will.
Passing through the villages and the towns of east of Estonia. Well, I don't need to worry because
no problem,
look
mate.
what we're greeted by, a nice old Soviet train station.
Yeah, I think this one might be Estonian. Soviet Union came to Estonia in 1939, they occupied us, and I think this is from the Estonian era, I guess. Or it's from the Stalin era, might be from the Stalin era also, but it's early Soviet times then. Might be from Estonian era, you don't know.
See you later, train. It's off to Narva, leaving me here in Jõhvi.
Jõhvi.
Well, listen, as awesome as I'm sure old Jõhvi is, it's not our destination. I've got to go to a town called Sillamäe, which is one of the most Soviet of Estonian Soviet towns.
Sillamäe, he's saying Sillamäe. Sillamäe was a closed town. It was a uranium enrichment or uranium processing town. It was a closed off town. Like Area 51. It was the Soviet Area 51 was Sillamäe in Estonia. It was opened up, of course, but back then you couldn't go inside. You couldn't. It was always armed guards and it was totally closed off. It wasn't on the maps even.
So somehow we're going to try and get there. Now there's a bus stop over here. I'm hoping there's a bus to Sillamäe from here. We shall find out. Wow, I kind of want to explore Jõhvi as well, because I'm sure it's epic. I mean, what a greeting. The old abandoned railway station. Wow, we've got off to a good Soviet start.
It's so weird how he gets so riled up about these Soviet architecture, but it's crap. It's like the shittiest building ever. You could hear your neighbors all the time in the winter time. You can feel the cold coming from the cracks. It's horrible place to live. But he likes it. It's so weird. And Estonia has plenty of places like that. So he will like Estonia.
It's in Estonia. Well, it seems there's no transport to Sillamäe from that bus stop. So we are going to get a chance to walk through town a little bit and find a lift. Check it out. There's the Estonian flag flying proudly.
I'm glad.
And these are the streets of Jõhvi. Let's have a little look. It's not exactly the weather for adventurising, but yeah.
It's too cold.
We're going to make it to Sillamäe. Wow, look at these places. Oh, Sillamäe. Sillamäe? Sillamäe. Известный город.
Sillamäe.
Sillamäe.
Или что ты говоришь? Бискель.
Я хочу автобус, транспорт, маршрутки или что-то до Sillamäe.
Я еду в Sillamäe.
О, да?
Да.
О, хорошо.
Я еду в Sillamäe. Famous last words.
На каком языке говоришь?
Я англичанин. Но путешествую здесь. Это район. О. А в этот район, в принципе, люди говорят на русском друг друга или эстонский, или как?
Здесь как 50-50.
Окей.
А Sillamäe 90.
Русский.
Yeah, Sillamäe and Narva are mostly Russian. Jõhvi is in eastern Estonia one of the most Estonian towns, and it is 50-50. And that's one of the most Estonian towns there. So eastern Estonia is kind of Russian.
Понял.
Narva тоже.
Narva is very Russian.
95.
Ого, понятно. Но есть много тогда без работы.
Очень много без работы. В Sillamäe работу не найти. Швейка была, там где бабы сидели шили, закрыли. Рыбу ловили, закрыли.
Yeah.
В Эстонии нету ни одного корабля.
Да ладно.
Нету ни одного.
Странно.
Странно, нету.
I don't know, Russians really like to fish. Everywhere you go, Russians are fishing. But yeah, Eastern Estonia used to be this very heavily industrialized areas, industrial areas, and they still mine coal there, but it's very automated nowadays, so no one has work. It's really hard to get work there because there's no infrastructure for anything else except what the Soviets left behind, and they left behind shit.
Все нахуй, все продали.
Всё
Ничего
нахуй.
нету.
Почему это так?
А потому что Евросоюз. Вот Sillamäe.
Well, here I'm saying fuck you to that guy. He blames the European Union. Well, every good thing Estonia has is thanks to the European Union. New schools, new roads, new infrastructure, more money, and connection to these strong powers in the Europe. And he's blaming this European Union for the destruction in Sillamäe. Well, I blame the Soviet Union.
Хорошо. О, интересно. Советский. О,
Да.
уже
Вот,
заброшенный
смотри,
магазин.
Вот, смотри.
Что это?
Дом, вот
Вау,
такой
заброшенный дом.
Заброшен магазин.
Вау.
Вот дом полностью, вот заброшен.
Добро пожаловать в Sillamäe.
Вот.
Вау, я
Старый
вижу.
какой красивый дом. Заброшен.
Красив.
Вот садик заброшен.
Yeah, well,
Вот садик.
might look beautiful, but it's cold
Тоже заброшенный садик.
and miserable inside.
Вот тут школа была.
Вау.
Заброшена нафиг.
Как же.
Что-то нет, все уезжают.
Удачи вам.
Yeah, if anyone is watching from Estonia or from Russia, I have to, like, I don't want to offend you by saying this, but I'm strongly European Union minded. So if I hear something like that, blaming that or blaming the Estonian government, I get really riled up. So this is what you get.
Спасибо. Wow. What a legend. Giving me a lift. And we're now at the hotel Krunk.
Kronk.
Go and see if they've got a room.
Krunk. What a funny name.
Oh. Fuck.
It's closed. Oh
There
god.
go my plans. It's the only hotel in town. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
My plans are over already.
I don't think he has another hotel there. Such a small town. This is Stalinism. In architecture, this vibe here, the pillars and all of this stone, huge like vibe. This is Soviet made, but the thing is, back in the Stalin era, they still made things look beautiful like that. After Stalin, Khrushchev and Brezhnev came, they made horribly looking these massive apartment buildings only, and this style was abandoned because it's very expensive to build this. These are from the Stalin era, they look good, but inside they are horrible. You can still see the Stalin photo up. It's just a horrible place to be. They are only beautiful to look from the outside. You don't want to live in one of those.
И налево,
налево.
налево.
Окей.
И там лестница. Лестницу вы увидите даже с лестницы красоту.
Хорошо, я это что я хочу. Спасибо, бабушка, спасибо. До свидания. Right then.
See, talking to strangers, you can just say "Spasibo babushka," which means "thank you, grandmother." I don't think you would say that in English to any old lady. Thank you, grandmother.
The babushka's pointed me in the direction of the most beautiful street in Sillamäe. We're going to go to it, and then I'm going to tell you about Sillamäe. It's got an interesting history.
Oh yeah, very interesting.
And hotels that don't work. Amazing. If you look on a map printed inside the Soviet Union, you'll be very hard pressed to find the town of Sillamäe marked on it. And that's because in Soviet times, Sillamäe was a closed town, a secret city. Just like the secret city we visited in Kyrgyzstan, it was closed for the same reason.
Yeah, uranium process.
Found uranium in the low-slung hills that surround the town. And so, under Stalin, they built this town.
You say under Stalin because all of this architecture does not exist after Stalin. They built it only at Stalin times, and it was very expensive, and after Stalin the Soviet Union was going down. I mean, it was always going down, even at the Stalin times, but they decided not to put any more resources to building beautiful houses. So this is rare.
Neoclassical Soviet architectural style. Well,
Yeah.
that's a mouthful. And look at it. Here on the shores of the Baltic Sea, a little piece of the Soviet Union still remains.
He says it as if it is a good thing. He says like this is a glorified thing. I have no problem with him. I like the guy, but like I don't know if he's lived a lengthy period in any Soviet apartment building. It's horrible, and like anything Soviet is pretty horrible. I don't know what he sees in it. Like these also, you might look at them, they're beautiful houses, but if you really have to live and survive in those. I do have to say it looks beautiful, and when I was in the military we actually protected that town. In my final training course we actually rode in with our company, we rode into that town, and I took position in, we actually were on top of that hill he was here, on top of those stairs. I was there with my gun, and locals were taking pictures of us.
Но, в принципе, это советский город, можно так сказать.
Да, да.
Закрытый город был.
Это раньше был закрытый город.
Да, интересно. А сейчас, конечно, нет.
Ну, сейчас оно свободно. Вот.
Да.
Но когда я сюда приехал, сюда в России.
А, когда? При СССР?
Да, считайте так. 73-й год.
My mother was born in 73.
Знаешь, как было здесь? Здесь медведь стоял.
А, памятники здесь, да.
Yeah, a bear and a Lenin statue next to it, right?
Да. Ага. А сейчас?
Там в парке были скульптуры.
I'm
А
calling
где
it
это всё
Lenin.
сейчас? Заброшено.
Нет, просто ушли, как говорится, в прошлое ушли.
А как была здесь жизнь раньше, когда была при СССР?
Очень хорошо.
Да?
Life was good in the Soviet times, huh? Well, you look at this guy's face and you can see his life experience written into his face. That is his good life. No, that is brainwash. It wasn't good.
Да.
Я сюда-то вот и приехал. У нас там, где я родился, в Калининской области.
Ого.
Вот. У нас там был голод. Мы за хлебом вставали в 5 утра и очередь отстоишь 2-3
That is
часа.
Soviet times for you. How are you gonna call that good?
А
А
здесь?
сюда приехал. Вы не поверите, вот первый магазин, вот эта десятка, он еще сразу после войны выставился.
Понял.
Я сюда приехал, как увидал, вошел в магазин. Колбаса копченая такая-то, вареная такая-то, сосиски такие-то.
Ничего себе.
Красная рыба, красная икра, черная.
Yeah, these things you could not get in the Soviet Union. He's talking about them with such, oh my god, because you couldn't get them. Meat was a very rare thing to buy for a civilian in the Soviet Union, unless you lived in Moscow or the capitals of the SSSRs. So he's talking about this because he saw it for the first time in his life moving to Estonia. Estonia was the most western part of the Soviet Union, so it was most evolved. So yeah, for him it was good life here. For us Estonians it was shit. It was horrible compared to what we had before the Soviets occupied us.
Черная икра.
See,
Wow.
for him it's, oh my god.
Знаю, конечно.
For us it was
Масло
shit.
мы вообще там не видали. А тут масло сколько хочешь бери.
This guy got his first butter in his life in Estonia, in the Soviet Union. Like, this is how bad it was in Russia and the Soviet Union.
Вот так вот было.
Интересно.
Yeah, it looks nice.
А когда личный вопрос тогда, когда при СССР были заброшены, вы не хотел возвращаться, ну, домой в Россию?
This is a good one.
Первое время тянуло меня домой. Ну, знаешь, как всегда, на родину.
Yeah.
Первые 2-3 года. А потом, я этот город не поменяю.
Yeah, right. Why don't the Russians go back to Russia when Estonia got free? You know why? Because Estonia is from the European Union. Our wages are 3 times higher than Russia. Our living standards are 3 times higher. Our houses, everything, cars, everything is better. Food is better. They don't want to go back. Because even the pension, if you're an old man like this, he relies on his monthly pension from the government. In Russia, his pension would be 3 to 4 times smaller, so he cannot go back to Russia. Some of the Russians living in Estonia, they hate Estonia, but they like the money, they like the living standards, and they like the cars, they like the warm housing. But they talk shit about the European Union and the government, which provide them with these things. That's what pisses me off. He gets the government pension, which is very high compared to Russia.
If you were a resident of Sillamäe, in Soviet times, you weren't allowed to leave the city.
Yep.
However, now in post-independence Estonia, you kind of can't stay in the city. And that's because the factories that once worked here are now shut down. And there's nothing for the youngsters to do. The school is closed over there. The marriage office is closed over there. The shops have closed over there. It's a different time. The only people who remain in Sillamäe are people with pensions, the babushkas and the dedushkas.
With pensions, and there is a reason they like those pensions, because they are high. Well, of course, in the European Union, Estonian pensions are not that high, but compared to Russia, those pensions are like mountain high. So you don't want to go back to Russia from Sillamäe. They don't tell you this, of course.
Yeah. People who basically live on the memories of what Sillamäe once was.
A horrible uranium city. Radioactive city, that's the memory.
Well, I'm here at the bus station at Sillamäe. The plan was to spend the night here in the hotel, but of course that's closed. So instead, I'm going to jump on a bus to Narva, a city on the Russian border.
That's a bigger one, that's a very big city.
Yeah. It's about 27 k's away. Let's find a hotel there and continue our adventure in eastern Estonia tomorrow. Let's do it.
Narva is a very big, in the northern war when Peter I of Russia and the big Swedish Empire were fighting, they had the Battle of Narva, which decided the outcome. So Narva was a very big historical city. Look at this! It's shit! Look at Narva! Yeah, see these apartment buildings? Very bad. I used to live, actually, me and my parents, our family lived in Panelka, that's what we call them, Panelelamu, Panelka, because it's made out of panels like that. They made it out of cubes. We lived in one of those for 8 years of my life, but then we moved to a house, and not a good place to live at. I understand I'm giving you a completely different experience than
sunny
Bankrupt here. Narva!
Isn't it wonderful? Let's go and check out if we can't find a hotel.
Yeah, you can. Narva is big enough for you to find a hotel. Narva is very old also.
Soviet city.
Very old.
Oh, Narva is.
A few hundred.
Check it out.
Almost 1,000 years old.
The old Stalinist architecture, that little thing on the roof that you see sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see if our hotel is Stalinist. Where is it?
Probably.
Хотел посмотреть Восточный Эстония. Как здесь? Как люди живут?
Ну и как? Говорилось.
Да, я был в Салиме. Салиме. Как говорит? Салиме. Недалеко отсюда.
Sillamäe.
20 километров.
Sillamäe?
Да. Нормально. Красивый. Советский, конечно.
Советский, да.
Да.
I don't understand how anybody could say beautiful Soviet. Only people who haven't lived and who haven't experienced their siblings being shot and raped, they can say this.
Все советское.
Ага.
Только Таллин не советский немножко.
Ого.
А тут в 44-м разбомбили все.
Да.
Да.
Немец?
Не, русские.
Yeah, another. Sorry I paused this much, I'm just triggered. Russians, the Soviet Union, Stalin bombed these cities. Stalin was the one who bombed these cities and people lived there. It's, oh, the beautiful city. Well, Soviet Union bombed the hell out of it. They destroyed the city and they built it up, back up. But before it was more beautiful, before it had this old 30s and 20s architecture. Stalin bombed the hell out of those cities. Narva, Tallinn, all of these cities bombed. And then Soviet buildings were built where the old beautiful buildings were.
Ого.
Наступали когда? В 44-м?
Oh, look where I am. The Hotel Narva.
I'm sorry if I'm
With two
offending
Ls.
people, I'm triggered, I'm sorry. Narva, hey. You got a hotel finally.
Well, there you have it. A little single bed,
Yeah,
a TV, a desk. Let's check out the old wash
a
basin.
bottle of vodka.
Okay. That's what you get for 30 euros in the provinces of Estonia.
30 euros a
And a
night.
view of snowy Narva on a Tuesday night.
It's still pretty expensive.
Well, that's the end of day one of our trip through Eastern Estonia.
What's with the glasses?
It's been pretty eye-opening for me. Seen some things that I didn't know existed, didn't know about. So, yeah. Stay tuned for day 2 when we'll continue our journey. I'm now going to read my copy of Babushka's Secrets and fall asleep. We've got
It's
an early
funny,
start
it's
tomorrow.
funny.
So, yeah, stay tuned. See you guys in the morning.
Yeah.
Good morning from, well, the Russian town of Narva in a sense. I'm in Estonia, but it feels anything but. The people here communicate almost exclusively in Russian. I was in a shop yesterday and all the newspapers and magazines for sale were in Russian. The TV channel...
It wasn't like that before the Soviet Union was fully an Estonian city till 1939 when the Russians bombed it and moved forcefully, deported Estonians to Siberia and moved Russians in. This is the history. But of course they don't want to talk about this.
Channels in my hotel room are pretty much only in Russian.
That's shit.
A lot of the people here in Narva have dual nationality, Russian passports. So yeah, so although I'm obviously in Estonia, it feels like, with the architecture and the weather, I'm actually in the Russian Federation. Let me take you somewhere before we begin today's journey and show you why that is.
It is beautiful with the snow and everything. You can see the citadel of
Well-
Narva, this one here and this one here. This is the Narva River. One of these is Russian, one of these is Estonian. And these are very, very, very old. This is a very big piece of history. And I think they were bombed also and restored, I'm not sure. Stalin bombed everything. He didn't care about architecture, memories, or like, oh, 500-year-old castle. We don't care, bomb the hell out of it, so yeah.
I've come down to the banks of the River Narva. Here it is. Over here in Estonia, you have the medieval Danish fort.
Danish fort.
And
That
over
is
here,
old.
just swimming distance away, you have the town of Ivangorod. and its giant fort. And that is the Russian Federation. This is where the European Union juts up against the western edge of Russia. And there's probably no other border in the world except for maybe the Korean Peninsula where two different ideologies clash so sharply. You've got Estonia, which since independence has followed a path of democracy, of rule of law, of respect for its citizens.
Amen.
And you've got Russia, which has done anything but. Russia, a land that is filled with the greatest people you could hope to meet. Loyal, honest, legit people in Russia, but they're ruled by the biggest bunch of any country's ever been ruled.
Thank you, Ball on Bankrupt. Oh my god. I never watched one of these videos. I was so afraid. I didn't want to say anything. I thought he's like one of those pro-Soviet, pro-Russian government. Oh my god, I'm so thankful. Praise you. Thank you, Ball on Bankrupt. Good. We're on the same side. Yes. I do love Russian people and Russian culture. I like to play Russian songs on my accordion all the time. But Putin is an asshole. The Russian government is filled with assholes and they're tyrannical and evil and bad. Thank you for saying this. Good man. Good lad.
By the Russian people have been enslaved, tortured, murdered, embezzled
Amen.
from, stolen from, lied to, all by the people that rule that country.
Yes. I am glad right now. I'm very happy that he's saying this. Very happy.
Right then, I've ordered a cab because where we're going there's no public transport. We're now going to head deep into the forests of eastern Estonia to something that I think we might both find interesting. Let's see.
I like this video a lot more after
Да, знаете где?
Vivigolla.
Это Sillamäe, это
Да, заброшенное село.
село, да. А что,
Да.
репортаж будете делать, да?
Да, я буду там
Да?
делать, да, снимать
А
там.
погода?
Ну, что можно делать?
Вивиконно, есть такое, да.
Vivigolla.
Ну, красивый город все равно, мне
Here's
понравилось.
the music.
Нормально.
Что он, понимаете, может быть, сейчас он красивый стал, но мало народу стало.
Да.
People мало.
Они что, за границу или куда ехали?
Уехали и
за работу?
И на работу, и в Россию, и
Понял.
разъехались.
Понял.
So I don't think they go to Russia because life in Russia compared to in Estonia is kind of miserable. So you would really have to be a very strong brainwashed idealist to prefer that to Estonia, because life in European Union is just so much richer and so much more filled with freedoms. So I don't think why would you go back to Russia. I think they went to maybe Germany, maybe France, somewhere there.
Спасибо. Было интересно говорить с вами. До свидания.
До свидания.
Wow. People are friendly. Russian people are very friendly. Drifting away.
I've been dropped off in the semi-abandoned town of Vivikona. In the past, in Soviet days, Vivikona was a mining town.
Yeah, all these towns existed because of Soviet heavy industry, mining, coal mining, uranium processing, some nuclear towns, but now they're abandoned because Estonia doesn't enrich uranium. We don't mine uranium, and because it's very bad for the environment. And the difference why we don't mine uranium, I mean, we could all fill those towns up again, but mining uranium, it's horrible for the environment, horrible for the water in Estonia, the water deep inside of the land, and we care about that. The Soviets didn't. So yeah, there's big money in there, but we don't do it because it's bad for our nature. That's the difference. And I guess most of the people there don't care about that because they just want their own towns back and they want their jobs back, but they don't know that it's destroying the nature of Estonia. So yeah, we're preserving that. We're saying no to the minerals, we're saying no to the riches to preserve the nature and the country. This is why these towns are empty.
And then with the end of the Soviet Union, well, they stopped mining and
Because
people
it
left for elsewhere for better
destroys
jobs.
the
But
forests.
these are the houses of Vivikona, check them out. Look at this, the main street. And here you can see the houses still deserted, their balconies. Wow, let's get closer. Oh my God. See if we can look inside a window. Wow, look at this. Whoa.
You can go inside if you want to.
Wow, look, still got the old wallpaper on the walls. The wallpaper from Soviet days. And here, look, we've got the old sign in Russian. And here, the flag holders. Flag holders where...
The signs in Estonia are forceful, they have to be in Estonian, so the fact that they are in Russian means that this was abandoned almost immediately after Estonia got free, because they changed all of the signs to Estonian, and these are in Russian.
On May Day and celebrations, it would have been the red Soviet flag would have flown from. Wow. Let's look deeper into the village. Interesting. А что здесь есть еще? Магазин остался или что?
Ничего.
А как купить вещи?
Sillamäe ездил.
А сколько населения еще? Сколько населения еще есть?
Ой, ну так написано 49.
49, да?
49 people.
Много меньше, потому что многие на зиму уезжают в Sillamäe.
Понял.
Здесь же много старых, с дровами тяжело.
Да, конечно, представляю, как это тяжело. Wow, check this out. Wow, I'm walking up the old path.
Of course, I feel bad also for the old people. They cannot move, right? They're too old to move, and they have lived there for all of their lives, and now there's only like 30 to 40 people there.
To what was once the village school. Oh, a lot of snow just went down my neck. Oh. What was once the village school, built in 1954 with the Soviet star above it.
Stalin died in 1953, so this school was built 1 year after. An interesting fact there.
It's written in Russian. Wow, check it out. How interesting. Can we get inside? Oh, just imagine the little school kids that would have run up these steps, up this path.
Eramaa means
into
private
the school
property.
building.
It's private property.
And here you can see these little indents in the walls. They would once have had pictures and drawings of maybe Lenin or Lermontov or Pushkin, Mendeleev, some of the greats of Russian literature and thinking.
Not Russian,
Now, of
Soviet
course, they're
literature.
empty. This is the old Soviet bus station of the town. Wow, you can imagine there would have been Soviets coming and going, miners arriving for their stints underground, and then going back. There would have been bus services from this very station to Leningrad, to Tallinn, of course, maybe further afield, I don't know. Now, of course, no one's coming here. There's no more services to this little abandoned village. But you can imagine, oh, this would have been benches, and there would have been the ticket room, and there's a bathroom, maybe a little shop selling sweets, whatever, newspapers for the journeys people are about to take.
It's crazy how interested he is about these old ruins. I can see he glorifies the history of the Soviet Union and the architecture especially. As a tourist, it's easy to do that living outside of the Soviet Union, of course, but living here, I don't see more than a stone wall here, or some bricks, some ruins that are ugly. But of course, I don't want to be disrespectful. It's so cool to see how he is feeling all of that, and I like his sincereness about it.
It was all so different back then, wasn't it? You can see up there where there was once upon a time some kind of circular emblem.
Yeah, it was probably the symbol of World Revolution, globe and this hammer and a sickle. It's the World Revolution symbol. They put it everywhere. It was on top of my high school, which was built in 1954.
Maybe it was the face of Lenin or Stalin, or the hammer and sickle.
Yeah.
And all on these walls of these government buildings and apartment buildings will have been Soviet slogans.
Yeah.
Glorifying the party, the workers. But
Yeah.
of course, post-independence, the Estonians ripped them all down.
Yes.
The Estonians...
That's why you mentioned in the beginning Estonia has distanced itself from the Soviet Union and moved towards Western Europe. Well, because we distanced ourselves, then we ripped the old history down. That's why we are evolved so much. We're a very, very tech-savvy country and a very rich country compared to some other ex-Soviet countries. But it comes with the price of destroying all of the old Soviet stuff, because that symbolizes everything that doesn't evolve.
Suffered greatly under the Soviet invasion.
Yeah.
An occupation that continued afterwards. And so they don't want to be reminded in any way of those things.
Nope.
Unlike, say, in Belarus or other countries where they've just been left openly to fall into disrepair. Not in Estonia.
We don't want to see the symbols. Even if you see a hammer and a sickle somewhere, you tear it down. It's horrible. Oh God. Oh.
Well, this neoclassical design building was in fact the entrance to one of the mines of this village. You can still see the old stucco plaster up top. You can imagine how nice it would have been then. The workers going to the mine would have flooded through those doors in the morning and then back out in the evening or whenever they worked. But now...
They worked when Moscow wanted them to work. Moscow dictated the hours of working.
Mine no longer works, and so this building has fallen into disrepair, and so has the village.
Ooh. The pillars look nice. How are you gonna get back?
Well, that's the end of my time in Vivikona and Estonia in general, a part of the former Soviet Union that I wasn't too excited about coming to. I just thought to myself, I'm not going to be able to use my Russian, there's going to be nothing of real interest for me. I mean, Estonia is the EU, right? It's modern, it's going to be pretty much like my own country. But how wrong was I? It just goes to show you that, well, 30 years after the fall of the Soviet Union, it's, how would you describe it, tentacles still pervade throughout this region. And I've loved my time here. It's been really interesting. Met some cool people.
But that's only in eastern Estonia. That borders Russia. In every other part of Estonia, it's like Western Europe.
People seen some amazing landscapes, seen some abandoned Soviet stuff. So yeah, Estonia for the win. One of my favourite republics. I can hardly talk because my face is so cold.
Oh yeah, it's hard to talk when it's
the end of the video. I'm now going to walk the 10 miles through the snow, back to the highway, and then somehow get back to Tallinn.
No way.
It's been a lot of fun.
10 miles or 10 kilometers, there's a difference, because 10 miles is 16 kilometers, and that's a lot to walk in cold and snowy, and like, you're gonna take hours, man. I hope it's less. But this is Paul the Bankrupt. I'll list his channel in the description below. I really enjoyed the video, and if I triggered some of you or most of you, I apologize. Let's try to get over it. We just have different views on the history. That doesn't mean we can't be friends or you can't watch my videos. Just we have different views. I am very pro-European Union, pro-Western powers, and my family has greatly suffered through the Soviet Union, so you can understand why I don't like anybody who glorifies that history. But I could get my... I saw what he was saying about Russian government, so I know he's just interested in the history. He's not glorifying it as he doesn't want to live in it. So yeah, very cool dude. His channel in the description below. And thank you my friends for watching, and as always, until my next video, stay cool and bye bye.